6 o'clock.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So they were looking for me, huh?
Well, they were going through the thing because I, had mentioned that we were working with you guys and they said, well, we can't find him anywhere here.
Hello,
So
everybody. This is Wealth Made Easy for You, and we're your hosts. I'm Carlos Millsap, and this is my trusted partner, Brad Stewart. Hello, Brad.
hey, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Good to be with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? We thoroughly enjoy coming to try to help you guys figure things out when it comes to uh, infinite banking. In fact, life insurance in general. Brad and I had a conversation one time, and sometimes when people have the wrong misconception in regards to life insurance, they think life insurance is just in case you die. That's one aspect of life insurance, but it's life insurance is multifaceted, and I look at it as like a golf bag, a bag with full of golf clubs. There's different clubs in there for different reasons. Same thing with life insurance. You use life insurance for different reasons. Okay, and that's what we want to make sure that we emphasize, because life insurance is for the living. It's for you to be able to utilize it for the best of your ability. And there's a lot of perks that come with you having a life insurance policy versus some of the other financial instruments. I mean, a lot of perks, and we're not going to ever cover it in one show, as Brad and I come and bring you guys information. But what we are going to do is, over a period of time, you're going to hear us talk about various subjects. Right, Brad?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, we thought today we might go in a little bit different direction during our discussion today, and wanted to give you guys some ideas on how to get to your retirement and how to do it safely. And we think that there are some. We want to be able to bring you guys some really important ideas that you can work with that'll mentally prepare you not only for your retirement, but to be able to institute infinite banking into your retirement and make it work for you. So tonight, with your permission, we're going to go ahead and move forward on what we call planning for a better retirement future for each and every one of you that's listening on with us tonight. So here's some basic ideas that we've kind of put together that I think they'll kind of move you forward in your retirement planning while you're using infinite banking. And there's only 3 of them, but it's pretty basic stuff. We want to, number one, make sure that you know what the risks are during your savings period and what those are going to look like. There's stuff coming your way. You know what those risks are. We also want to make sure that you choose a strategy that's going to help you be able to be prepared to meet those risks head on. I know we talk a lot. Carlos brings it up frequently because he always talks about the elephant in the room. But if you know the risks and you don't know how to deal with them, you're in a world of hurt, and it's going to be a real serious problem for you down the road. Number 3, once you have chosen a strategy that's going to prepare you to meet those risks, don't procrastinate. Attack the problem. Move forward and do it now. I think too many times, and I will confess, I can be guilty of this. Just ask my wife. I come up with a great plan, and then I just sit. And she goes, I thought you were going to do this, or I thought you were going to do that. Don't procrastinate, especially when it comes to retirement. I know a lot of people think, I'm 37 years old. What do I have to worry about? I've got plenty of time. Remember those days, Carlos?
Yeah, they wake up and they're 50.
50?
Yeah, you go to bed at 37. You wake up, you're 50 or 60.
Man.
Yeah.
So, our big thing is tonight we want to talk just to make sure that you have considered what your future is going to look like when you're retired. And if there's anything between you and that future, we want to be able to get it out and discuss it. We want to beat it to death and get it to where you're able to take and make retirement work for you, because there are a lot of things that we still don't know that are coming down the pike. And we're just seeing, in some cases, we're seeing some tastes of that right now, just in our economy and those kinds of things today. All you do is watch the evening news or check online some of the news feeds and those kinds of things. So if you consider your future, one of the things I like to play with is just stop for a minute, take a look into your future, and see what it looks like when you hit that ripe old age of 75. What are you going to be doing? Where are you going to be? What's your lifestyle? What's happening? Do you know what tax bracket you're going to be in? Do you know where you're going to be living? You know what your house that you're going to live in is going to look like? I mean, granted, if you don't move, you know what your house looks like. You're already there. But for most of us, at one point in time, going back to that 37 that Carlos referred to, chances are at 37, you're not going to be in the same house when you hit retirement. And for a lot of people, when they hit retirement age, one of the first things or one of the last things they did while they were still working was either downsize in the same area, or they retired and they turned around and moved on and downsized in a different location that might be a little more appropriate, economically speaking, for their lifestyle. So, what are some of the other risks that are out there, Carlos? What's your take on some of this?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head when you talk about the taxes, because with this looming national debt of $30 trillion, one of the things that we have to look at is that the government's going to get that money, or try to reduce that debt somehow. And all experts are saying that one of the ways that they're going to do it is by raising taxes. Now, it's funny that earlier today I was thinking about this. So, the United States kind of paint this picture. They tell us, "Hey, look, go to school. Okay, when you go to school, go ahead and get student loans. We'll make it easy for you to get these student loans." So you mount up this huge student loan debt, and now you're working. You're trying to pay off that student loan, and then they tell you, "Hey, put your money in a 401k," and then you don't pay taxes on it. Then you go ahead and you put your money into that 401k, and you don't pay taxes on it. But what they don't tell you, putting your money in there, is that what the tax rate's going to be at the time when you start pulling that money out. So what the government is doing is they're going to put you on the hook to take care of their expenses from the time that you're, let's say, about 18 until you die. That's what they're doing. And most people are falling right into that trap. And so one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to get you out of that tax risk, because that is something that
Exactly.
is looming. And market volatility. We're seeing that right now. You got your highs, you got your lows, you got your highs, you got your lows. And one thing I always tell people is simply this: when you lose money, I don't care what the stockbrokers say, that money is gone. They'll tell you, "Hey, yeah, the stock market, it'll be back. Don't worry. It's just a paper loss until you take it." No.
Yes.
If you lose $100, it's gone, and somebody gives you $100, that $100 is still gone.
Yeah.
We need you to wake up and understand what we're telling you. There's risk that you're taking unnecessarily. So it's time to move forward and do the right thing.
Taxes are one of those biggest risks, I think, that people don't really recognize. I know when I was a younger man, everybody that I talked to from a financial perspective always told me, "Don't worry about it. When you retire, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. It's not going to be a problem. You'll be good."
Absolutely.
Well, as you were speaking to it earlier, we didn't have a $30 trillion debt back then.
Right. Exactly.
So like you're saying, who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for that? And they're still trying to figure out ways to be able to take and make that happen And it's going to be on your and my back, folks. Our backs are going to be the one who will carry it, as well as our children and our children's children, our grandchildren, maybe even beyond.
Yeah.
That's provided we can get this thing under control and somebody stops spending like crazy.
Right. Hey, there's another risk that we can talk about briefly as well, and that's the silent tax, inflation. Isn't inflation out of control? Aren't you paying more money at the pumps, the gas pump now? Aren't you finding it surprising when you go to the store that one thing that you used to pay $2 for, now you're paying $3, $3.50 for? Your money's not going as far anymore. So think about this: the more tax-free dollars you have to spend when you're in retirement, the better. If you have inflation to deal with and you have higher taxes to deal with, your money's not going to go as far.
Well, here in the little community that I live in, the other day I went to the 99-cent store. It's the $1.25 store now.
Exactly.
It ain't no 99-cent store anymore.
No. That's just the name now. Absolutely.
but, but
Absolutely.
but that, I think that really sums up quite directly the whole story of inflation.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to bore you guys with old time stories, but I'm old enough as a youngster to remember when there were still nickel Hershey bars. You could buy a Hershey chocolate bar at the store for 5 cents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scary.
Yep. And
Scary.
I'm old enough to remember when I used to be able to go to Thrifties and get ice cream for either you get a single scoop for 5 cents, a double
Yep.
scoop for 10 cents, and a triple scoop for 15 cents. And I thought that 15 cents was way too much. I'll pay that
It's
in a
true though.
heartbeat now.
It's true. It's true. And
Yeah.
I mean, if you just look around, some of the stuff, I had some old records when my grandparents passed away. It was first my grandfather and then my grandmother. And I have to tell you, I mean, they're from the Midwest, salt of the earth, meat and potatoes type people. But I got to tell you, the home that my grandparents bought and lived in, that my mother was raised in, one of the houses she was raised in, that I remember visiting as a youngster, my grandparents paid like $1,600 for that house
Absolutely.
and property.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, my parents' first house was about $16,000, $14,000, something, all of a $300 down payment. So when you talk about inflation, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's just runaway.
It's
It's
run
just
away.
runaway.
Yep.
And those are risks that you got to be ready for.
You have to be ready for it, and you have to plan for it. If you don't plan for it, well, you know, I don't even know what to tell you. And the thing about it is, a lot of people say, I'm gonna do it later. Do it later. No, start where you are. Wherever you are
Mm-hmm.
now, start. You can increase it later, because what happens is that your time horizon is shrinking. I always tell
Thank you.
people this is that
Thank you.
if you're trying to get a big airplane in the sky, up in the air, you need a long runway. If it's going to be a smaller plane, you can use a shorter runway. So if you're going to have a small retirement plan,
Well put.
a short period of time. Okay, so we all want that big airplane. So use a longer runway. Put more money in now. Okay, and start building towards your retirement.
Well, I think Warren Buffett had a really good way of putting it, and I think it says volumes, speaks volumes to the issue. He's saying that risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be risky.
It's going to be risky.
And risk, like you said, you want the big risk, you want the small risk. You want to minimize the risk. And again, we're not talking about just one type of risk here and one type of risk. We're talking about the whole picture for when you folks get to that place where you do retire and it's a wrap. You're done. Now you no longer have an income. Have you done an adequate job did you know what you were doing in saving to be prepared for that long-term retirement? I think the numbers are, Carlos, up to, you can expect to be retired for almost as long as you worked, if I'm not mistaken, 30
Exactly.
years plus.
Exactly.
So what are you doing? Are you ready? Are you prepared for those risks that are coming your way? And I think that's one of the big things that if you've got that under control, you'll be much better prepared to meet retirement the way you want to do it. I I think it's kind of interesting because if you look at things the way they are, when you get into retirement, are you going to be able to do all the things you wanted to do? Are you going to be able to do some of the things that you wanted to do? Or are you going to do none of the things you wanted to do? It's your
Well,
call. It's
that's
your
right.
call. So um, we need you guys to, we can talk about the risk of the taxes and those kinds of things. Infinite banking will help prepare you for that. How'd you like to live in an income tax free retirement environment? Your call, you know? So,
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Now, as Brad was saying, don't procrastinate. It's time to move forward. Go to www.wealthmadeeasyforyou.com. Get some more information. Take a look at the videos. Um, Educate yourself. The main thing that Brad and I always try to do to everybody is to educate them on the process. We simplify it. We're not going to throw no big jargon at you, no big words. We want you to be able to understand it because you need to be able to explain it to others when they ask you where did you put your money. So we want to make sure that you're educated. So go to www.wealthmadeeasyforyou.com. Our contact information is there as well. But also, if you want to get in contact with us immediately, you can contact me, Carlos, at cemillsap@gmail.com, or you can contact Brad at bradstewartusa@yahoo.com. Okay, once again, that's cemillsap@gmail.com or Brad at bradstewartusa@yahoo.com. We really look forward to having an opportunity to answer your questions and um, be there to help you put your money in a safe place.
y'all have a
Carlos,
great evening. Thanks so
and you have,
much.
and that's Brad Stewart. Go ahead, Brad.
Hey, we'll see you next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. We'll be coming back with some more stuff. Hopefully, it'll be things that will appeal to you and help you understand a little bit better about infinite banking and how it can make retirement, debt, automobiles, mortgages, all that stuff so much better in your life. Thanks so much,
Absolutely.
folks. Enjoyed having you.
Absolutely. And make sure that you share this video, like it, and follow us. We look forward to talking to you soon. Bye bye.
God bless.